Alright guys, I got you back here on this foot peg project that I started last week. Okay, and what I'm going to try to do from now on is add some audio over the top of the video so that you get a little better tutorial on how to use Fusion 360 with the CAD side, right, design, and the manufacturer side with the CAM programming. So what you saw me do yesterday is we've got the first operation of this foot peg mount complete. Just as a little side note here, if you do hear some background noise with some weird noise going on in the background, I am currently 3D printing some face shields for the healthcare industry. I've got the 3D printer at my house printing some of these face shields. I'll do a video on that at another time, but back to our foot peg project. What I've done is I've created a template here to make sure that my second operation is going to work, that my process was good. And it appears to be so. So I'm going to walk you guys through, what I did to program the second operation or the second side of this foot peg mount. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new setup, and we're going to select our Z and Y planes as our model axes. I'm going to have to flip the Z axis so it's up. Y is going in the correct direction now. X is going in the correct direction. The next thing I'm going to have to do is create an origin point for us to probe for this second operation. So what I've currently got is, in the first operation, we drill all the way through these two holes. So we could use them as kind of origin points to line up on this piece. So I've selected that center of that circle, center of this bore, as the origin for op 2. We're going to go and add stock to all sides, and we're going to set 55 thousandths on our X axis for our offset, bringing us to an even 4 inches in length here. We're going to add 456 thousandths onto our Y for our offset there, bringing us to exactly 2 inches wide. Our Z minus is actually going to be, I'm going to have to double check, 462 thousandths, or actually negative 462 thousandths. Negative 462. And our Z plus is going to be a positive 52 thousandths. So what that is, that's the amount of material that's left on the bottom of this stock right there that we'll have to face off. So our stock is set up pretty well there. The first thing that we're going to do is create a facing operation. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do that as safely as possible. We have all this extra material that's kind of hanging off here, and that can get a little dangerous if we try to use the face mill. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create a facing operation. So there's 2D face. I'm going to come in and select our 1/2 inch end mill. We're going to run at 20 inches per minute. We might ramp that up at the machine depending on how the cut sounds. I'm going to select model top for all of my heights. And then I'm going to add 52 thousandths to my top height. Right there. We're going to do a pass extension of 0.5. So that's going to allow the cutter to completely clear the part. We want to select multiple depths. 39 thousandths is good for that. And we're going to turn off our lead ins and lead outs. So there we go. There's a facing operation safely so that we don't end up with all these big nasty pieces hanging out here. Okay. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to look at my template here. So I used a 3D pocket clearing to get us this top side roughed out. So I went ahead and selected the contour of the part as my geometry. We're still using the 1/2 inch end mill. 20 inches a minute is good. Our heights, we're just going to use model top, model top, model top. on the model bottom, or the bottom height, we're going to use selection and select this area as our reference point. That's how far we need to go down. We want 5/1000ths of stock to leave, but we only want it on the radial, right? The bottom, the floor of the part. We don't need it on the sides. We don't need to leave any material on the sides. And everything else looks good here. So let's click OK and see what it ends up looking like. Right, so what it's going to do is it's going to rough all this material out that's still existing here. We've already taken the material down that exists up here. So now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll create a simple 2D pocket down here. Same tools, same feeds and speeds. Model top for everything except the bottom height. We're going to leave as selected contour, so down here at the bottom. We don't want any stock to leave. We don't need multiple depths. It's all roughed out. So that's going to clean up this face down here. So you can see that this will leave kind of like a stair step. So if we look at it in our simulation, I'm going to simulate the whole thing here. And I'm going to play it and fast forward kind of through it here so you can see what ends up happening. So we end up with this like stair set here, and then we're going to come in and we're going to clean that up as well. Okay, but this material that's hanging off here, not ideal. I would like to try to get rid of it, but more than likely it's so insignificant it's just going to fall off anyway. So the next thing to do is going to be to create a parallel 3D parallel toolpath to clean up this area here. So I clicked avoid/touch surfaces, and I want my tool to touch those surfaces. I'm going to be using a 1/2" ball end mill. And again, I'm trying to go as fast as I can here so the video isn't super long. So if there's anything that you missed as I'm going through this that you really didn't understand, add that into the comments of Google Classroom, and we can talk about it. Selection is going to be the bottom here. That's going to be our bottom height. I'm going to make a very fine step over of 0.010, so it makes it super smooth. Everything else should be good. So if I click OK, see how this looks. There's our parallel toolpath. Right, so you can see all the individual lines are going to smooth out that stair set. And that should really complete it. So if I simulate both op 1 and op 2 here, you'll see that it completes our part. So there is a complete foot peg mount for my race motorcycle. What we'll have to do is program the second part, which is going to be a little bit more complicated because it's such an organic, funky shape. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Again, add your comments into Google Classroom. Make sure that you comment on the video that I'm going to be posting, and we'll catch you later.